Okay, we're back with Gretchen. So, give us some thoughts on spirituality, as far as growth. Your perspective on, as individuals, how do we? Is it something that we just stumble upon, or how does that affect our lives in the realms of spirituality?
Hmm, that's a pretty deep question. So I'm going to speak from just my own perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I come from a shamanic background um, with a very Christian sort of evangelical perspective in the beginning of my life. And those two perspectives I find have a lot in common. So I think for many of us, maybe for all of us, from the moment we're born, we're on a spiritual journey. We just forget because we're truly spiritual beings in physical bodies. So we are multidimensional quantum beings that are beyond this physical body we inhabit. But we forget that. And life and challenges come in. I believe that everything that comes along is a lesson of our soul, of the divine, whatever you want to call the creative force, God. Um, it's encouraging us to get onto the path that our soul came here to experience. But that's the adventure because we might have understood or made an agreement about what we wanted to accomplish in this lifetime. But once we're born, it is all a mystery. And we spend the rest of our life trying to figure that out. We always have choices, even in the darkest moments, especially in the darkest moments. We have a choice to give up or give in to anger or victimhood, or to choose to move through it and find the lesson in it. There's always a lesson. I always say there's medicine in every challenge in our life. What does that mean? That's different for every person. So, no, I don't think we stumble upon it. I think we're invited to it, but we have to choose to be awake. We have to choose to accept the invitation, which doesn't always come in a pretty package.
Which kind of leads to that sometimes it can be circumstances or things that happen that kind of shift us to
Mm-hmm.
look at that or to turn to go in that direction,
Mm-hmm.
seeking truth.
Yes, I absolutely believe that. So, my most profound shifts have come as the result of what I will refer to as dark nights of the soul.
Mm.
When I felt like there was no more hope. When I would throw a tantrum and, scream and yell at God. It's like those were my moments when I wanted to give up and I thought, what purpose is this?
Mm.
Why am I even here? And in some of my darkest moments, I realized there was even a choice for me at that crossroad without any judgment from the divine to say, I am finished here. I don't want to do this anymore. That was a choice. I don't know how that would have played out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But every time I realized I had a choice, um, that was the quantum moment. It's like, okay, no, I don't really want that. I want to live. And I don't just want to live, I want to thrive. So, what does that mean? I think I have always recognized that I'm a spiritual being. I remember as a little girl, I look back on things that happened and ways I saw the world. Doesn't mean I was always angelic, but I was always searching. And it came in the form of organized religion, and then came in the form of unorthodox, at least from my upbringing, ways of seeing the world, to eventually shamanism, which sort of checked off all the boxes. It's not a religion, it's a way of being. And I love the earth and nature so much that once that became the place I could go to for solace, for introspection, for guidance, things opened up. So, yeah.
So how would you what would you say, what helps with resilience? What's something that you can share with us about resilience?
Wow. I think the most resilient people are the people that have had the most challenges and who are determined. Not everyone has resilience or chooses to have resilience, but I think that belief that you're going to bounce back comes from having enough of those dark moments or challenges, and you can look back on it and you can say, no, I made it through that one, and that was the hardest thing I thought I'd ever pass through. Okay. I think that's where resilience comes. Again, I think it's a choice along the way of choosing to perceive the obstacles as invitations to expand and grow and allow them to be a catalyst for change. Even to the point of, I am finished with this old family pattern of not believing there's enough resources in my life. I want to thrive. Okay, I don't have maybe any idea what that means or will look like, but I'm going to begin dreaming. And there's the first choice, because dreaming takes you out of limitation. So, does that make sense?
Yes.
Resilience comes from hard knocks and making it through.
And not giving up.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last thing I wanted to ask was about mindfulness. So, what advice can you share with us about being mindful?
That's a term that's used a lot now. Mindfulness for me simply embodies all the things I've already talked about making choices. I choose to be grateful. I choose to move past a judgment and into compassion. It is a state of being. One of my teachers here in the U.S., Sandra Ingerman, always says, it is what we become that changes the world, not what we do. And mindfulness to me is being present, not always not looking back, not having regrets, not always jumping ahead to the future, but being present. Mindfulness is being present and grateful.
And on that note, I want to say thank you so much. You have really been a blessing.
Thank you.